at the end of the game, we used Keontae as a screener, which we haven't done a ton of, and that was on the fly. I thought some of the late game execution was good. We've worked on not taking that time out, around that 8.5, 9-second mark, because you're going to need it at the end to advance the ball. And I thought, obviously it's a broken play and Keontae hits a really tough shot, but that's what those moments require. So there's a lot to learn from this game. It'll be a good opportunity tomorrow to get back on the practice court, watch a bunch of film, clean up some of those things, and on we go. Yeah, Kyle's doing a tremendous. The blocking out, the verticality around the rim. Tonight was another night where teams are trying to isolate him on the defensive side, and he's doing a pretty good job moving his feet, spacing guys, using his strength. And on the offensive side, his shooting is really improving, and it's helping him a lot, but it's also giving our team a very different look, because when he spaces the court, the paint is much more open. We saw tonight they opted to, in certain moments, not even put their center on him because they respected his shooting. And then when he's a playmaker away from the basket, the defense is warped because they do now respect his shooting in a different way. So Kyle's continuing to get better and better. But the thing that I'm most proud of tonight was how he rebounded. There's going to be moments where he's out there with another big. We talked pregame about him playing the 4 versus the 5. When he's at the 5, we're obviously smaller. And so he has to continue to do his work early, fight for his space on the ground, understanding that he's not going to be able to make a ton of plays just over the top rebounding. So he's growing a lot over the last 6 weeks and getting a lot more experience, but he's putting the work in.
You look at the stats, maybe the biggest difference maybe is points in the paint, shooting percentage in 147. Did you like the shots you got down there and just couldn't fall, or would you like to see something else in terms of finding those intruders or something else?
Yeah, I thought there was a big stretch in the first half where I thought we made a bunch of poor decisions in the paint. For the majority of the game, I felt like we did a decent job. I think there were some that we missed. I can remember, Svi had a couple bunnies he missed. Flip missed a couple that he normally makes. KJ missed, he had a lob that's a little bit off. But, those are plays that, 4 or 5 of those go the other way. It looks a little different. But I do think in the first half, in particular in the second quarter, we just didn't make a lot of good decisions in the paint. I do think the team recentered at halftime, and I thought we moved the ball pretty well. So we'll go back and we'll watch the film, and we'll continue to talk about those things. It's not something that I'm overly concerned about, because I do think the last 2 months we've done a good job as a team in terms of our shot selection and the reads that have been made in the paint. So tomorrow will be a good day to just clean a few things up. He's getting a lot of experience against different matchups over the last month. I think there were moments in the Lakers game where they put LeBron on him. And so there are moments where he's being guarded by bigger defenders that are spacing him a little bit more. There are counters to that. I think Isaiah executes those counters relatively well, but it's a learning process of how to understand in every game what's going on, and to understand that over the course of a game he could see 2 or 3 different matchups, and that's going to dictate a different thing for him. So there's always things to learn, but that thing in particular for Isaiah is a big focus right now. I think the last 2 games he's played with more force. He's been, and I mean this in a good way, he's been a little more reckless, which we need. He needs to go for it a little bit more in certain moments. Cody's a very smart player. He's has a really good understanding of what the right play is, and sometimes that can be a negative. You know, we've talked about this in the past as it relates to like Walker. You know, like sometimes he gets stuck because he wants to do everything technically correct, and there's a lot of moments where we need to have Cody play off his instinct because he has really, really good instincts. So I've been impressed with the last 2 games. Some of the attacks he's made to the rim, especially in early offense. I thought in the first half, the back cut on Simons, he catches it, doesn't get the layup, but is just super patient, takes his time, and ends up shooting the jump hook. Like that play, maybe more than anything that's happened over the last all year, signals growth. Because he recognized that, okay, I've caught the ball, but this is the right matchup in this moment, and the right play is for me to make this move. Cody's instinct a lot of times is to pass first, but I do think he's showing a different level of aggressiveness, and we're seeing it on both ends of the floor.
Thank you.
Thanks.